So, ladies, gentlemen, welcome to Impactnomic. My name is Desmond Situma. As always, this is a platform where we talk about impact and we bring interesting, very passionate guests to help us understand some of the issues we have in our society. Today, we have a very courageous, very outspoken, vocal lady, an entrepreneur, a woman who is really leading the landscape in business in Kenya. Meisi Tamar, welcome to Impactnomic.
Thank you so much, Desmond. It's a pleasure to be here.
Please tell us a bit about yourself, the work you are doing.
My name is Meisi Tamar, and I'm a musician, a gospel musician. I'm also an entrepreneur and a mother, and I love to talk to women. Yes.
Interesting, because as I understand, my work revolves around the cooperation between the continent of Africa and Europe. And many times when I go to meetings or when I talk to clients and so on and so forth, the issue of gender, women, young people in business comes out always. But you, as a woman who happens to be in business, what would you say has been the experience, given the context of Africa or specifically Kenya?
The experience has been amazing. It's challenging on its own, but women have always been resilient, wanting to always make the best out of every opportunity. So I would say that the business environment is there for women to explore in Africa. And we are glad that there are so many organizations coming up in support for women and trying to encourage them, women and youth, to get into businesses. So we encourage women to take up these opportunities and explore what's in there for them.
Okay, interesting. And how did you end up in business? Were you, because I hear a conversation about this is very controversial because when you see the news, when you read papers, sometimes the African culture is portrayed as very patriarchal. And the story out there is that it's very hard for women to enter the business environment and succeed. So this shows that there's a lot of difficulties that women go through compared to their male counterparts. Do you agree to that analysis, or it's simply a fair environment for everyone?
No, I cannot speak for everyone, but I would say that generally there are women who are being supported by their men to actually be into business and to try other things that they're interested in, to pursue their passions. But it's not true for everyone. There are women I've interacted with who are really, they are visionary, they have things they want to do, but their men in their lives will always tell them to stay at home. Like, just stay at home and let me do the business part and be a good wife and do nothing else. So you find that in these times, it's not very healthy to just let a woman stay at home and one person to go and fend, because life has become a little bit hard. I think men should encourage their women to also explore the opportunities that are there for them. Yes, so it's a sad reality that in some areas women are still being seen as belonging to the kitchen and in the house with the children and not doing anything to add into the food basket at home. Yeah.
Okay. So you see a trend where the situation is improving, where more women perhaps going to work, going to school, engaging in entrepreneurship compared to the years before, or if I understand you correctly. Is that the assessment you have?
Yes. There's an empowerment of women that is been going on, and we are currently seeing results because more and more women are coming up asking what they want to do, what can we do together as groups, individually, and they're being encouraged and supported to do that. And it's a good thing because it makes the family dynamics to kind of improve. Because when a woman is empowered and is able to do something for her home without being belittled and being seen as a nobody, then that home will grow. And once a family has a woman that is also doing something, it translates to a community and finally to a whole country. Yeah, but there are still very many situations where that is not a fact, because the women, the culture, the society still puts them down, and they have accepted to be put down. They have accepted that I'm not supposed to venture into business. I'm not supposed to go out there and work. So once they have accepted and it has been in their mind, there's nothing you can do other than to try and train them slowly until they finally come out and accept that I can actually do something. Yeah, so it's an ongoing job. Yeah, we hope that in future we'll have more women coming out and doing something.
Definitely. Okay, thank you, Meisi, for that very detailed explanation. And I strongly agree with you, especially when you mention about empowerment. That is something at Impactnomic we try to work on a lot, and that's why we have women who are doing amazing things on this show, like yourself, so that when you share these experiences, someone who is watching can be encouraged to perhaps keep on the message of encouragement, or also take action and perhaps venture into entrepreneurship. But talking of empowerment, what kind of organizations or institutions that you see are doing this kind of empowerment or capacity building to help women or youth or young girls to venture into entrepreneurship? Is it mostly perhaps government or non-profit or private sector?
I would say the non-governmental organizations, they really play a huge role in policy making, and also trying to help the government to do something about the women empowerment. So when you see the government acting, being proactive towards empowering women, mostly it's because there is a non-governmental organization or societies that are trying to push them to actually do something about it. So I'll say it's the government has the goodwill, and the non-governmental organizations also come in and fund, and it's not easy, so it takes a lot of work for all the sectors, including churches. Some of them are actually doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, and small societies around. Everyone is trying to say, we should have our women doing something.
Okay.
Yes.
You mentioned churches. That is one of the fields I'm quite interested in.
Okay.
In development, we have something called faith-based approach to community development, and I understand that Kenya, or generally Africa, has a very, very religious population, and sometimes this is used for perhaps good or wrong reasons. What examples would you say in your community that churches or mosques or these kind of faith-based institutions are doing to support the work of women in business, empowering women, and not only women, the whole family unit,
Yes.
including men and other people?
Churches are a community where people come together, and they come together in worship, yes? So the core purpose of a church, first of all, is whether it's church or a mosque, it's usually because of religion. But you see, you've gathered people together, and these people are from different backgrounds. Some of them are empowered, some of them are not, some of them are educated, some of them are not. So some churches, I can't speak for all, but some that I know, they actually take that opportunity to bring the women together and tell them, guys, you can come together and do something. So they introduce things like table banking in their cell groups, where we contribute for one person. That person goes and does something, either start a business with the money, and then later we all also contribute to another person. They go and start a business or a small project, keeping chicken, something, so that you can have something of your own on the side. Yeah. So some churches have actually done that, and it's very good. And they exchange ideas, because you can find in a group there's a woman who never went to school, and in the same group there's a woman who's actually a CEO in a bank somewhere. But what has brought us together here is a church, And because we are together, let me empower you by sharing to you what you can do to help yourself. And that other woman who is maybe has never gone to school will also get something out of that small group. Yeah.
Yeah, that is very interesting. And I know that, of course, one institution alone cannot solve all these issues, issues of empowerment and so on. So you've mentioned churches, you've mentioned some non-profit organizations. How do you see the work of other businesses supporting, emerging entrepreneurs? Do you yourself, for example, with your experience, have you had a situation where a bigger business, you went to them perhaps, or you see them help some small entrepreneurs to grow?
Yes, there are businesses that are big, but they need, they demand what they're doing, or maybe what they're selling. They cannot on their own meet the demand. So what they do is they recruit other small businesses to be able to produce that item that they have the market for, and then now they are able to buy from them, and then now they are creating like a value chain for the small businesses. So I can say, yeah, there are businesses that are really encouraging other people, women, youth, whoever you are, you're interested in starting a business, but you don't know where to start. You don't have a client base, you don't have a distribution channel, you do not have the know-how. So they come in and tell you, you know what, this is what you should do. They train you, and then now once you start producing, they buy from you. So they become like your market. So all you do is produce, they buy from you, so you continue being in the business.
Interesting. And how about the government side? Do you see, for example, institutions that support, for example, business incubation for young businesses, or any kind of government support for
I
entrepreneurs,
think the
be it maybe
government,
tax breaks
when
or
it comes to business, the main role of the government, I believe, is to provide an enabling environment for that business to grow and to prosper. So when the government comes up with punitive measures like over taxation or license, too many license for just a small business that's starting up, that is not an enabling environment. So I believe the government should do more to caution the small businesses, and so that they can grow. When there are so many, you see, it's easier for you to come and tell them now, pay a little tax back to the government, and reduce the number of licenses that they're required to have in order to run their business. Yes. So that is what the government should do. Just provide an enabling environment and the businesses will bloom. But the moment they try and, once you start, they want to hit your head so you can disappear. I mean, it's not fair. I would say that.
based on that, I will ask you this: if you met the Minister for Trade or Micro Enterprises, the ministry responsible for that, what would you tell that minister?
I would tell them exactly what I've just said, that small businesses, they have just started. Probably they do not even know what losses they're about to make. So they should give those small businesses a grace period of 7 years before they start taxing them. Yes, they have the name, the business name, they have all the documentations that they need to run the business, but when it comes to really hunting them for tax and for all these compliances and such stuff, they should give them a period of 7 years, say. Because they say that businesses, within the first 2 years, they start, yes, but most of them do not make through to 5 years, even 3 years. By the fifth year, most of them have already died, almost 70%. And if you now give them a grace period of, say, 7 years, it means that that business has already grown roots, and it is now firm. It's able to pay for itself. So that is the time now you should come in and say, now we've given you enough time to stabilize, and now you should be able to give back to the government or have all the licenses that you're required to have. But the moment you're just starting, and the huge chunk of money that you're supposed to pay for licenses, for you know, it's crazy.
It's
So
a huge burden.
yeah.
Okay. Let me get back to the issue of women in business.
Yes.
Because I've been in a forum where there was a conversation on women taking positions by themselves and not waiting for something being given to them. And I know there have been so many affirmative action kind of programs to support women in business, women in politics, and other sectors. Do you support this idea of setting specific dockets to support women, or would you rather see a situation where, for example, through the education system, women are trained and so on and so forth, so that when it comes to entrepreneurship, they can compete equally with any other person?
Competing equally with any other person. You see, it's like you're starting a race, and all of you are not starting from the same place. Some of you are starting, well, you have already made huge advancements in life.
Yeah.
And then there's a woman who is struggling. This is an opportunity. She has just been empowered to start. She doesn't even know how to maneuver through. So I would say they should still be supported. Yes, there's a school system where we go through, but there's a lot of narrative, and the community plays a huge role in usually helping a woman, whether to advance or to continue being down there and at home and doing nothing. So when you start from an environment where already women are put down, you cannot now start saying, all of us went to school, we should all compete fairly. We're not coming from the same kind of oppression.
Yeah.
You are here, and I'm here, I'm starting. I need some support, both from the community and from the same people who've been putting us down, come up to our side, so that when now we are at par, we can say, now let's compete. Yeah. But as for now, women need to be held. Their hands need to be held. Because it's not just, they're women, yes, and they're also, there's this thing called equality? They're saying we are fighting to be for equality.
There's equity and equality.
Yeah, for equality. So we cannot all be equal. Let's start from there. We cannot be equal. Women are women and men are men. We are just built differently. And now we want to support our women to be able to provide, because some of them find themselves in situations where they are the breadwinners in their home. And they have to play both the role of a man and a woman in the same house. So you have to give them that support. Yeah.
Interesting. And what's your opinion on this issue of women supporting women? Because the stereotype out there is that women don't support other women. What is your assessment on in terms of women supporting women when it comes to not only in business, but when it comes to also to like political space, for example?
Yeah, it's true. Women don't support women because women, let me say in the Kenyan context, I won't speak for the whole world. I'll speak for the Kenyan context. It's not easy to find women supporting their own women in a place where it's mainly dominated by men. They'd rather listen to the majority. What are the majorities saying? And also because they have seen how if you're supporting a woman, how you're being labeled or something like that. And honestly, it's a harsh environment. The political environment is a harsh one for women. And women are not built for that. As I was saying, there's no way we can ever be equal. There's just the way we respond emotionally to things. And the political environment, sometimes most women, they look at it and think, that's not a good environment for a woman. But it doesn't mean they don't want the women to lead. It's just that there is that negativity, let me say it.
So it's a toxic
it's a toxic environment. And I'm a woman. Emotionally, I may not be able to handle all the insults that come with politics and such stuff. I have to behave like a woman in order to compete in that platform. And you see, equality, I don't think is about changing a woman to becoming a man. It's just like I should have the same opportunities, but I should not be able to change who I am
Yeah.
and completely become this other person in order to get this, to access these opportunities.
Okay, so if I understand you well,
Yeah.
you've said when it comes to the political space, the general observation is that many women don't support other women. So then, what happens for women who are, who want to be in positions of leadership, especially when it comes to elective positions where people have to vote for them?
The women just have to be tough and go for it. Because if this is really something you want to do,
Yeah.
you should be able to believe in yourself and then sell your agenda to the people. It's the people who vote, ultimately, both women and men. Because if we only depend on the women to vote for the women, then we will never achieve, we will never have any position. The men also have to vote for the same women in order for them to win. And we have had women in leadership positions. We have women who are governors,
Yes, indeed.
and they have really had a good time. And there are those who have been frustrated in their assemblies by the men whom they are supposed to lead. And this frustration is not coming from just women; it's coming from both. And so I'd say such political positions, you just have to be, to believe in yourself and really put your agenda on the table and win people by who you are, and let them vote for you, women and men, because you will not just depend on women to vote for you and succeed. Yes.
Indeed, women have a lot of responsibilities, and let me go back to you yourself. So many responsibilities. You are a mother, like you said, an entrepreneur. You have a job you have to do. You are a musician. How do you manage all this?
I allocate time for everything that I'm supposed to do. I prioritize which one should come first and which one must be done and which one is very important. Yeah, but I'm able to do that because first of all, I love what I'm doing. And I'll tell you, I'll be very bored if I was just to stay at home and take care of the kids. It's not a bad thing. It's a very good thing to be a mother. But it's the same. It's routine. So to break monotony, you have to have, because kids will grow up and they will leave you. So you have to have a business running on the side. I have to have my own passion, which is music, and be able to do it and sing and be happy. Managing all that takes a lot of passion, I would say. So without passion, most probably you will not do anything. You have to have passion.
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed. And talking of entrepreneurship, could you please tell us a bit more on the kind of businesses you are engaged in?
I'm into agribusiness. I'm a farmer.
Okay.
So yes, and livestock keeping. And it demands a lot of your attention, a lot of bookkeeping, a lot of financial management, and proper management also. Yes.
And how did you go to a training or did you just start?
I just started
Okay.
with the help of my husband, and he's been very supportive. That's why I was saying it's not easy for a woman to just do it alone. You need the support system. So my husband is one of my support system, and so when I started the business, by the way, we are called Toponari Investments Limited.
Taponari.
Yes.
Okay.
So we do farming, pig farming, and it's been like a journey of growth. I didn't know anything about it. I wanted to do it, so I started. I've had challenges along the way. I've made losses, I've made profit. So it's business is growing, so I'm happy.
you have explained that investing in agriculture, for example, let's say you are a pig farmer, right? And like you explained, it's quite not very easy. You have to be there, you have to do this and that.
Yeah.
And that makes sometimes people to be, maybe call it a dirty job. I don't want to go in the farm, I have a degree in this and that. And they miss a lot in the end. So I was asking you about what kind of potential do you think these people could harness? Yeah. And also, why do you think many young people are scared or do not want to go into agriculture?
I would say that there has been very little to emulate when it comes to agriculture because it has been painted as a poor man's job. So we've seen our parents struggle doing the farm work, and they take us to school telling us, so that you can be better than them. So in short, they don't want you to come back and do what they're doing. They want you to go and do something else other than. So it's been like from the beginning, discouragement into farming. So that white collar jobs are being preferred more than. So when you just change the narrative, like I'm currently in agriculture, I would encourage my sons to do the same. But now you do it with the knowledge that you got from the school and improve on it. So young men, when the narrative changes that this is actually something cool and there's nothing bad about it, and not associating poverty with farming, then the youth will definitely come and give their energy and knowledge into it. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. If there's a young girl watching our conversation today and then she's inspired by Meisi Tamar, what would you tell her to do if she wanted to do the same business as the one you are doing right now?
I would say to go for it. Just start. So long as you've calculated and seen the what you will need to support your business from the start to the first sale. So once you know how you're going to manage around it, you can always start. There's nothing. The market demand is too high, and the supply, it's very little. So, and there's a lot of opportunities to cut down on costs, and there's just a lot you can do, explore. So there's nothing really that can stop you as a young woman that wants to start that kind of business. Yes, it's
How
only,
about those who say, I don't have money, but I really am passionate about it? But I
if
don't
you're
have
passionate
money.
about it, and how passionate are you? Sometimes someone can tell you, I'm really passionate about agriculture. How far are you willing to go with that passion? Are you really even willing to write down that proposal? I mean, that business idea. Write it down clearly and look for funders. There are so many organizations out there that are looking for young women and youth who have these great ideas of business ideas that they want to do, but what they don't have is the capital, the know-how. So they come in, they train you, and they also give you some, after they have done business analysis and seen the gaps in your business, they can chip in and bring some boost to your business. So how passionate are you? Show me how far you're willing to go with your idea. Don't just talk about it, do something about it. That's what I'll say.
So the key here is action.
Action, yes.
Do what you... I think, actually, I know many people, deep down, they know what is supposed to be done, but because it's not easy, they don't do it.
Yeah. But there's nothing easy. Everything, someone say that if your hands are clean, probably the money you have is dirty. But if your hands are dirty, your money is clean money.
Wow.
You've worked for it. So do something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Meisi Tamar. Let's end our conversation there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Impactnomic again. Tune in, comment in the chat below, and keep the conversation going. If you want to reach Meisi Tamar and learn more about her business, music, in the next session we are going to talk more about her music, because she's doing a lot in terms of empowerment, in terms of education, and so on and so forth through her music ministry. Thank you, Meisi Tamar. Before you leave, on this show, we always ask our guests to tell us what is their favorite country in Africa and what is their next destination country they want to visit in Africa. So what is yours?
My favorite country in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say my Kenya?
Of course.
Okay, and the next destination country that I'd love to go, that would be Congo.
Which Congo? The Congo Brazzaville or the Democratic Republic?
Democratic Republic of Congo.
Why do you want to go to Congo?
I want to know why every business person is interested in going there.
Wow. Once you know that, please let us know.
Okay.
Thank you. See you next week.